Welcome to the first episode of Warren College Cooking. I'm Julian.
And I'm Evan, and today we're going to be doing meatball subs, so let's get ready to cook.
So for all of our ingredients, we bought them at Earl's Market, save the meatballs which were found at Ralph's.
For our first ingredient, we got a jar of marinara sauce.
Also, we have a French baguette.
And the recipe calls for provolone cheese, but we just got pepper jack because that was the only slice that was kind of close.
We also have the meatballs.
And last but not least, a bottle of extra virgin olive oil. So all you're going to need to cook your dish is you're going to need a stove and an oven. You're going to need a oven pan and a bread knife. You'll be able to tell it's a bread knife because it has a serrated edge so it doesn't crush the bread as you cut it. You need a pan to warm up your sauce over the stove and a spatula or a wooden spoon to stir your sauce. So now that your oven is done preheating, you can take your pre-made meatballs. We chose to buy pre-made because we're college students and we don't know how to make actual meatballs, and it's just easier this way. But you can take, the recipe asks for about 12 meatballs. You just put them on the tray, and once you have your 12 meatballs kind of spaced evenly out, you can go ahead and take the tray and put it in the oven to bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure they're all spaced nicely. And just put them in. So while you wait for your meatballs to cook, you can take your baguette and prepare it for the meatballs. What you want to do is you want to take about the right size and you want to cut your bread in half. Be careful not to cut your fingers because the knife is really sharp and you don't want to cut anything off. So once you got your bread separated into about 2 halves, you want to carve out some a boat size indent in your bread so you can set your meatballs inside.
"12 seconds later."
Okay. So once you have your a dent for all of your meatballs you put in, you can prepare the bread by spreading a little bit of olive oil and some salt on it. And then that should be good for your meatballs. So once you have about 5 minutes left on the timer, go ahead and add your bread to the oven as well so it gets lightly toasted for your meatball subs. Also, use safety mitts. Don't want to burn yourself. Here we go. Move this to the side. Ooh. Meatballs are looking good. And in goes the bread.
So while the bread toasts, you want to take the tomato sauce and pour it into a saucepan. Then, let the oven sit on about medium and let it warm up so that your tomato sauce gets nice and runny and ready for your meatballs to come in. Once the meatballs are finished, go ahead and take them out of the oven. And you can take your bread out of the oven as well. We'll set that aside for right now. With the meatballs, take your spatula and start spooning them into the tomato sauce. Just like so. Then start mixing the tomato sauce around, getting the meatballs all nice and covered and ready to put back into the bread. So once your meatballs are scooped back into the bread, you can start taking the pepper jack cheese and layering it over like so. We'll put the cheese, bread, meatball concoction back in the oven for about 2 to 3 minutes, or whenever the cheese looks like it's fully melted. And after that, your meatball sandwich will be ready. Then, once your meatball sandwiches are out and ready, go ahead and place the bread back on top. And go ahead and transfer them over to your plate. And go ahead, cut them in half. Look at that.
Alright, let's try this.
Ooh.
Here we go. Let's dig in. Alright, Nick. Let's see what you think. Give it a vote of confidence.
That sounds good. I didn't get the meat. Yeah, that's why.
So, here we are at the end, and would everyone like to give it their final thoughts?
We'll give it out of 5.
I'd give it. I'm just gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
4 out of 5.
That's pretty solid, wow.
Yeah, this is good.
As for, I guess our final ratings at the end, coming down to how easy it is, the meal, I think Evan would agree, was actually pretty easy to cook. Not too bad.
I mean, the hardest part was cutting the bread.
Yeah, the bread was probably the hardest part, and that's just because we're two dumb college students. We don't know professional ways to do things. And as for affordability and availability, all the ingredients were super easy to find. The only thing was running down to a super center to find the frozen meatballs. But other than that, I mean, for the cost of everything, it was probably, I'd say, what, maybe $15 for everything?
Yeah, and you could feed yourself. This is like 4 meals.
Yeah, this is 4 meals worth. We had
this is
3
huge.
sandwiches and 1 left over.
And we still have a bunch of meatballs left.
This concludes this episode of Warren College Cooking. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!